So, my name is Traci Cooper. I am from Bucks County, Warminster area, right suburbs of Philadelphia. And I play with the Ulster Scottish Pipe Band. My grandfather started the band in 1922. Then my dad ended up taking over as pipe major. My dad taught me. And my dad was so, adamant about he didn't care who you were, what you were, whether you were Protestant, Catholic, Jewish, whatever. It did not matter to him. If you wanted to learn bagpipes, my dad would teach anybody. It just didn't matter. He believed in music. And if you wanted to learn music and you wanted to play, he was willing to teach anybody. One of the biggest things that my dad always said was to only use the music as a guide. You have to feel the music. If you don't feel the music, you're only going to be playing notes. You're never going to play that expression and what you want it to be. You have to feel it.
Tell me what sparked the idea for this workshop. What was the history behind this?
Funny enough, so my brother, Dave Hall, and Linda, my sister-in-law, they had run workshops before. They came to bands, at one point, and they were like, oh, I think we should have a workshop. And I was like, you're crazy. We can't do this. I wanted no parts of it. I'm like, I've got enough on my plate. I don't want anything to do with it. They wanted to do it. Okay, fine. And funny enough, it started in the Poconos, and that is why it's called the Pocono Workshop. And we were at a place that was called Pocono Manor, which was very historic, very old-fashioned. And then in 2016, my brother stepped down and Linda stepped down Linda was bass drummer and my brother was pipe major. So they stepped down, and then I was in full force. Then a couple years later, I guess, the Pocono Manor burnt down 3 weeks prior to our workshop.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hiller. We begin this hour with the devastating fire still burning at the historic Pocono Resort and Spa in Monroe County. Nearly 24 fire departments from 4 counties have been working all day to save what they can.
Well, I was in a panic. I went everywhere looking for a place to have the workshop. I was bound and determined I was not canceling it. And so ultimately, I found the Sheraton here in Valley Forge. The people have been amazing, very accommodating. They have the space for the instructors to teach and, for each to have their own room. And a lot of hotels today, you don't get that because there's so much on Zoom and, technology and all that. They only make the hotels today with maybe 2 ballrooms. They don't have the meeting space, that they used to. I think, hopefully, we may have found a home here.
Joe, all set. Thank you. Okay.
My name is Stuart Liddell, Liddell, not the mouse. And I come from Inveraray in Scotland. I'm a piper. I'm the pipe major of the Inveraray District Pipe Band. I got involved in the Pocono Workshop, I can't even remember exactly how many years ago. I've been coming a number of years now, and I'm glad. It's been amazing few years and a lot of fun. The social aspect of this thing that we do is incredible, and the people that you meet around the world and the friends that you make is incredible. I love teaching the pipes. I actually teach as a living. I teach youngsters in the local school system, the public school system. It's great to introduce pipes for the first time to these youngsters. It sort of ignites something in them. You know, they might have a family member that's played, or they might identify it as being Scottish maybe. It's a real challenge to learn and teach because there is no instantaneous fix or it takes a long time to get to a certain standard, and a lot of kids fall by the wayside after a little while, but we do get some real gems coming through that are really dedicated.
Sometimes they're played even, but the style nowadays, the trend is at the moment is a similar rhythm, another cinnamon, if you like. You've kind of got to delay the D grace note, delay it. That means it's going to be bigger. That means the rest of it's going to be slower. Don't rush into that D grace note.
The teaching the youngsters is extremely important. It's vibrant at the moment in Scotland. We are really lucky that the kids are embracing this instrument. But it is very important to keep the art going. There's different aspects of the piping. The more traditional element it's important to keep that going, definitely, for sure.
My name is Robin Mackay. I'm from a place called Shinnon, just outside of Glasgow, and I am a piper and play for St Lawrence O'Toole Pipe Band. I would have to say the Pocono Workshop is extra special because it brings together people from such a vast landmass and encourages people to be in the same space for a concentrated period of time, and it allows people to develop friendships and mingle with people that they might not have had the opportunity to from other bands or other walks of life. Being able to meet so many people, but in particular the next generation of young female pipers coming through. It's one of those ones that you need to spend a bit of time just looping those bars over and over again. But it's a really nice wee tune to incorporate into any of the sets that you're playing. Because if you wanted to, I suppose you could do more of a traditional strathspey kind of idiom, but I just like playing it and giving it some way because you can really get into it. I've got to say my favourite thing about teaching not only the pipes but just traditional music in general is being able to have that conversation about the history of it and being able to kind of go away and study it myself so I can inform others about it and kind of spread awareness, especially like for example this weekend one of my classes was on a brief history of women in piping, and it was a good excuse for me to go and actually get in touch with other women pipers and do a bit of studying and research myself, and I found out things I didn't realise or didn't know.
So I love the music so much because it has a lot of emotional power. The harmonics are lovely when it's all balanced and tuned properly, and some of our music is quite ancient, you know, several hundred years old, which the tradition has kept it going all these years.
And it's such a versatile instrument in the way that you can make of it what you will. When you're playing the instrument, it's not just that you're not just playing there in that moment, you're playing hundreds of years worth of history.
No one that I know of can say that, you know, they do a hobby or something like that and they have friends in Australia or New Zealand or Scotland or wherever, you know, wherever it may be.